So, the two of you walking down the street, and leader of Hard Livings, leader of Americans, leader of Jester Kids, etc., sitting right in front of you, what would you say to them?
We love you.
Okay, you had to grow up because of the circumstances that you faced. And that's one of the sad realities for young women of colour in the Cape Flats, that life is quite serious at a very young age.
Yes, because you have to mature at an early age.
Yeah.
You have to, grasp and understand what it's like to live in the Cape Flats.
Yeah, amazing.
Because like my father, his death was not accounted for. So if I couldn't help them account for my father's death, then maybe there's other people that I can help.
Then you can control the narrative of your story and you can treat people better than you.
Hi, I'm Andy Steele-Smith. Welcome to the Gang Pastor Podcast, a podcast where we talk about real people, real stories, and particularly stories of transformation and hope. And I'm particularly excited today because I have two, I'm going to call them spiritual daughters. They may say other things, but two amazing friends and spiritual daughters of mine. And they're going to give a lady's perspective on what it's like growing up in the Cape Flats, the good, the bad. There's no ugly. But I'm really excited to have the ladies' perspective, or the young ladies' perspective in particular. So with no further ado, my two friends, Jamie and Jodie, would you introduce yourselves, please?
Hi, I am Jamie and I am 25 years old.
Fantastic. And you live in?
I live in Mannenberg.
In Mannenberg?
Hello, I am Jodie. I live in Manenberg and I'm 16 years old.
16 years old. Okay. And you're in grade 11 at school?
Yes.
Awesome. Incredible. The two of you have many, many things in common, but one of the things you have in common is you're both great students, exceptional students. You've already, tell us about what you've done academically.
Okay, so after grade 12, I went to UW, done a BA degree in psychology and theology. And then when I completed that, I am now busy with my PGCE to become a teacher.
Fantastic. So you're the TikTok teacher, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. I've seen you. That's it. Super cool. And Jodie, tell us about what you're doing academically.
I'm still in school, grade 11.
And do you know what you might like to do when you finish school as yet?
Yes. Forensic science.
Forensic science. Crazy. Well, no shortage of opportunities for forensic scientists in this country, sadly, right? Lots and lots of opportunities. I'm really excited to have the two of you here. Jodie and I know each other because of we were involved in a family circumstance which was pretty tough quite some years ago now, and we've remained friends and more than friends since then. And Jamie, you and I first met only a couple of years ago, a year ago, I don't know, sometime in the last couple of years or so. But as soon as I met you, I was like, man, this young lady is exceptional, like just extraordinary, right? And I've had the privilege of making you famous on TikTok with your hair not done right. No, I'm mainly kidding. But the two of you have such important voices, such important stories and so on to share. Do me a favor, tell me some of the things, the good, the bad, the ugly, to use the turn of phrase, of what it's like growing up in the Cape Flats, in Mannenberg in particular, as a young lady.
Oh, well, mostly it would be just growing up in Manenberg, It's not all that bad, but for us, we have aspirations in life, and to reach it, it's hard in Manenberg. But we try to get out there, find the opportunities and link up with some connections in order for us to reach our goals. So It's not all that bad.
Yeah. I think one of the important words you used was grow up. From the first moment I met you, you had to grow up. You were about 10.
Yes.
No, younger.
No, I was 10 years old.
You were 10, okay. You had to grow up because of the circumstances that you faced. And that's one of the sad realities for young women of colour in the Cape Flats, that life is quite serious at a very young age very often. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, because you have to mature at an early age.
Yeah.
You have to, grasp and understand what it's like to live in the Cape Flats.
Yeah. The realities of life, death, trauma, it's and amazing things too. Community parties, just community playing sport together, community jolling together, etc. Just unbelievable things. But it's also surrounded by the reality of the fragility of life at times as well. So tell me about what you get up to outside of school. What's your fun thing to do?
Well, mostly it's choir. I'm in a choir at school, so
Amazing.
that's one of my extracurricular activities.
Yep.
So then, during the year, we would do the klopse, and then we would sing for them
Awesome.
as a choir.
Super cool. That's amazing. And how about you, Jamie?
I do so much. I hike. Other than school, I like hiking, dancing, singing, doing makeup. Yeah, that's about it, I think.
Doing TikTok.
Yeah, and TikToks. That was a recent thing.
You do it so well.
Thank
My
you.
son is enamored by you. No, that's amazing. And Jamie, tell me, I mean, you and I have, as I say, we've known each other for a while, and what you see as your life's purpose, as your life's calling, was a thing that twigged me at the time that I met you. I was like, this girl is on fire, to use the turn of phrase. This amazing young lady is like next level in terms of what she's been through and what she wants to use that for to create good from bad. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Okay, so I won't say it's my life's mission, but I'm called for it. I just really have a passion for it. I found that there's a gap in the market with psychologists, especially within the colored community. They frown upon psychologists. Like when you say you're a psychologist, they will say you're the mal doctor, meaning that you're the crazy doctor. So you're only there for the crazy people.
Right.
But because of like Mannenberg being an impoverished area and it's gang violence and all that, I feel like the abnormal has become so normal that there is that gap in the market for colored people of color, to actually heal. Because I feel like if you can control what's happening in your head, then you can control the narrative of your story and you can treat people better then.
Yeah. Amazing.
So I feel like that is where I want to go in life. Like I want to be a psychologist to help my own people and not just everyone else besides my own.
Incredible. There's that saying, hurt people. And the flip side, therefore, if that is true, the flip side has to be true as well. Healed people.
Heal people.
Heal people, So how cool is that? How powerful is that? And as I said, when I first met you and you told me that, I was like, check this lady out. She's incredible. And I don't think so to the same degree I used to. I think so to 10 times the degree that I did in the first place. So, Jodie, tell me some of your dreams.
Besides the choir, I also do poetry, like for myself. And I think that is one of my dreams, like something that I would actually reach for,
To write it or to perform it as spoken word or both? What?
Spoken word, like to write it, They always say that poetry is a form of your expression, like what you feel inside of you, what you think, what you go through. And I think that what we basically go through in our communities, I can put on paper,
Yeah.
how I feel about it. So that is what I do. And then when it comes to the forensic science, it basically goes with the injustice in South Africa, because a lot of people die and then their deaths are not accounted for. So I basically want to just, help out with that, solve cases. Because like my father, his death was not accounted for. So if I couldn't help them account for my father's death, then maybe there's other people that I can help.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the beauty from ashes element of your respective stories, but also the fact that the two of you have wonderful intellect and wonderful gifts, human gifts, that you want to give back and you want to see transformation and change and good things happen for many, many other people out of some of the tougher circumstances that you've seen and experienced in life. That's, that they say change starts from within. You guys are exemplars of that. You're changing from within, And I still, every time I talk to you, Jamie, I still can't get my head around the fact that you're only 25, right? Just blows me away. And Jodie, every time I speak to you, you're 16. Like you're a baby. You're still meant to be in a jumpsuit in a cot almost. Like not quite, but you know what I mean. Like you're so young, and yet you've got such an old soul. You've got so much strength of character, And, character comes from, being beaten up, so to speak, in life. And you've certainly experienced some of that. So that's why you have such deep character. But, you're just literally the most extraordinary 16-year-old young lady I think that I've ever met. And I've met some extraordinary ones, including, my own daughters, etc. But you're just absolutely extraordinary. Tell us about something that you're looking to do next year outside of South Africa.
Well, I was one of the 7 learners that was selected to go to UK next year.
To the UK?
Yes.
Incredible. To do what?
Well, they basically want us to experience life outside of South Africa. And most of all, to see if there's like an opportunity for us even to study there, like get bursaries, scholarships, anything that could help us just relive another world,
Incredible.
Yeah.
And so when next year are you looking to go?
That would be in June.
In June 2026?
Yes.
Okay. So viewers, Jodie doesn't know this yet, but when this podcast comes out, we'll have a backer buddy, and there'll be a link in this podcast to support that dream of hers to go to the UK and to see transformation, not just for her, but for a whole bunch of other people, to be able to see life through a different set of experiences and through the eyes of a then 17-year-old young lady from Mannenberg who's seen what it's like to live in England as opposed to what it's like to live in Mannenberg and the Cape Flats in Cape Town, etc. I'm excited for that for you. I really am. Time and time again, I've seen in life that people get one grasp or just a small picture of what life could look like for them in a totally different circumstance. And that's all that they need to grasp onto and lift themselves out of poverty or out of difficult circumstances, trauma, etc., etc. You look at Sholin, for example, Sholin Roman. He had his chance, and boy, did he take it, right? And you're not a drug addict or anything like that. Far from it. You're an absolute angel, but you've still got one chance. It's not the only chance you'll have, but you got that chance. You're taking it and you're pulling hard on it. And likewise yourself, Jamie. I think that's one of the most admirable things. And the fact that the two of you are constantly looking for new opportunities and chances, as opposed to saying, hey, I was born into a bit of a hellhole in some respects, and that's my lot. You guys are saying, no, why can't I have what other people have? And I think that's so admirable. I think that's exciting. And I think you'll bring other people along on that journey. You'll inspire a whole generation of other young people. Speaking of which, what's some advice that you would give, Jamie, to what's some advice you'd give to Jodie?
Being different gets lonely, but stick through it.
You know what, to be honest, that's something I've been dealing with lately, especially in my classroom. Like, I'm hardworking because I know what I'm working towards. So I always feel like I'm inside of the class, but I'm also outside. Because they would have their own conversations and whatsoever, but I would be focusing on my schoolwork, and I would be, so focused to the extent where I basically just cut myself off, or where they would cut me off.
But you know what you want in life. And also be kind to yourself, because sometimes I feel like when you have tunnel vision and you have so much for yourself, you are so hard on yourself. I know that I'm extremely hard on myself. And we're kind to everyone else, but not to ourselves. So I would say be kind to yourself. You deserve it. That's the one advice, the two things I would say.
That's awesome. All right, Jodie. Advice you might give to Jamie, or separately to that, advice you might give to another young lady that's your age and perhaps hasn't got a head on her shoulders quite as strongly and firmly as you do. Two separate questions there.
Well, actually, the picture in the back, as it caught me, it says sometimes all you need is a new perspective. And I think for ladies that lives in Mannenberg, living there so long can trap you sometimes. Like, it can make you feel like this is all you can be. All I want to say to them is, it's not all you can be. They have dreams, they have aspirations. They just need to live it out.
Yeah.
They need to change their perspectives, change it into who they are and who they want to be, not who people tell them who they are.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's so powerful. And if you could give some advice to Jamie, what would it be?
Jamie, keep up the good work, because you are someone that can change the dimension of young ladies. Thank you. Because for most of us, we need people like you. And you are the next generation's voice. So keep doing what you're doing.
That's awesome. You are the next generation's voice. Didn't sound as good or as beautiful when I said it, but it's powerful, right? That's absolutely incredible. All right. Funniest moment you've seen in Mannenberg?
Funniest moment. There's so many. Why can't I think of one?
Give the viewer, give a viewer who doesn't come from the Cape Flats just a picture of what it's like living in Mannenberg.
Sun's out. Everyone is playing in the road. Big people included. We were playing Nickies, Akkoos, like all this fun games with the ball. Big people included. We would jump rope. I feel like that was the best days of Manenberg, and nobody knew about it.
Wow.
And I also feel, besides we have a very tight community. I know of Uncle Karim and Auntie Nasi and Auntie Shiam. So when there's a matric ball, prom, and you can't afford it, they come out for your dress. They make cakes. They get a photographer. They get makeup artists, hair artists, all of that free of charge. So I feel like that's one thing that needs to be highlighted. We're more than just a community, but a family.
Yep.
And sometimes it gets overshadowed by the gangsterism or the bad things happening instead.
Yep, absolutely. How about you? Do you have any view on that?
I'm thinking now, I think a few months ago, I came from the shop and like the day it was beautiful, like there was no rain at all. And I think it was two drug addicts, but a guy and another lady, and they walked hand in hand, and some kids were sitting on the corner. And they looked at him and they were like laughing because when it comes to that, like you won't expect them to find love and like actual true love and still be romantic. And that was like, it was inspiring, like it was
Love
inspirational
conquers all.
because we don't expect them to find each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's powerful. So the two of you walking down the street and leader of Hard Livings, leader of Americans, leader of Jester Kids, etc., sitting right in front of you, what would you say to them?
We love you.
I love it.
And you are just a human that make wrong choices the same like I do. And you can change. The same like I can, you can too. Violence is not always the solution. And sometimes you just need a psychologist.
I love it. That's so powerful. That's just brilliant. I had no idea what you were going to say, but I knew it would be awesome. How about you, kid?
Well, for me, I would tell them that kids actually looks up to them. And if they want children to be like them, be a better example, Show them that there's better out of what we are. And that there's something more to us than just gangsters.
Unbelievable. There's something more to us than just gangsters. I want to check your birth certificate. I don't believe you're 16. I think you're lying to me. That's just unbelievably wise. Just extraordinary. And particularly knowing your backstory, I'm just like, I'm sitting here and just about in tears. Is there anything you want to ask of me?
Why Mannenberg?
Huh? Why Mannenberg?
That question popped up. Yeah, why Mannenberg? Why not like Eideveld or Mitchell's Plain?
Mannenberg's just where to be honest, I had a young gangster, or a series of young gangsters try to hold me up with knives and pungas probably 6 weeks before I sort of parked myself in Mannenberg. And I knew Mannenberg, I knew it was kind of gang central. And I thought, you know what, when I hugged and kissed the leader of that gang and he started crying, I was like, hey, these gang lads have the same issue as my kids in Versanekral in the township. They need a father who points them to God. So we turned up in Mannenberg, put down a bra on a street corner, or outside a bus actually, and went from there. So, it was just because Mannenberg was supposedly the worst place. I'm like, that's where we'll go. Is it the worst place? I think it's the best place in the world. But I have a slightly unusual view. But I still think it's about the best place in the world. Other questions?
This is probably not deep. Have you lived in Mannenberg your life?
Yes, I have.
Because you don't seem like the type.
I get that a lot, but I have.
Exactly the same thing that people would say to you.
Mm.
You don't seem like the type.
Oh.
And part of the reason that is because the two of you live in the same place. In other words, the two of you live inside your houses. You don't go out so much. So you
That's
haven't been
true.
affected too much by the world as such. Does that make sense? You've got in your case, awesome mum and dad. In your case, incredible grannies who look after you and who say, "Hey, she's not going out there," because I know what happens out there. So, what I would say to the two of you, if I have the privilege of doing so, is keep being awesome, exactly like you said to Jamie. Keep being yourselves, and keep that majestic sense of childhood that the two of you still have. That sense that life should be playful, like you were saying. The day in the sun, the day in the game. Going out in the sun and playing games. Keep that sense of joy and childlike perspective. That's such a powerful thing. That's one of the things that is robbed from so many of the kids in Mannenberg at such a young age. They walk over a body at age 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 and they lose their childhood. It's gone. It never comes back. In your cases, the childhood just keeps coming back. That childlike perspective. And I would suggest that comes from the two of you largely because of your faith in Jesus, but also that you just keep reinforcing that in your own lives and so on. So keep, the two of you will lead many, many, many other people to a great life, and a great life inside of Mannenberg, and an even greater life potentially outside of Mannenberg, just by doing exactly what you do. The Bible says that they'll know we're Christians by our love. There's no doubting who the heck you guys follow because of the love that just oozes off the two of you. The two of you have brought me so much joy and love in my life. I'm so thankful, so privileged, so honored to have you guys in my corner. If everybody dumped out on me and said, Uncle Andy, no, he's cuck. I know that the two of you would still be there, would give me a hug and would say, we'll stand by you. We'll give you a second chance, even if you stuff it up. You guys are awesome. Keep being who you are. Don't change a bit.